All right, guys. Welcome to our Tuesday Healthy Huddle. It's great to see your bright, smiling faces. And I love this day of the week. I just love to spend some time with each of you. And this is just one of the awesome parts of our super awesome healthy community that we have as we come every Tuesday weekly to really share in each other's successes and to support each other and to come together in community and to touch on some habits of health and things that are helping us to move forward in our health and in our life. And I absolutely love seeing everybody there. And so I want to make it clear that this is super interactive. We're here together. We're here to support each other. And so, feel free to chat in the chat window there. And I guess I should say welcome to anybody who is new or for the first time joining us tonight, because that's awesome that you're here. Some are part of our games, our health games that are actually coming to a quick close here soon as we are reaching our health goals, and excited for all that's going on there. So feel free to chat in the chat window or to raise your hand and chime in if you have some tips, and we'll talk a little bit about that. I'm excited. I'll move into what kind of a topic that I wanted to touch on today. We often hear about sleep and the importance of sleep, and sometimes we chuckle because we kind of gut check time to see how we're doing with that. How our sleep is. And I was reading in Dr. A's Habits of Health today, and just about really, aside from, it's almost just as bad as starving yourself and not drinking any water to go sleep deprived for too long. And so, man, it's just amazing on how lack of sleep impacts our lives and how important quality sleep is to us. I was reading in there about how sleep deprivation can really play a role in a lot of things. Can play a role in certain diseases. It can play a role in weight gain and how our mind and body and the chemicals that regulate our hunger and our appetite. As we have lack of sleep, there's actually certain chemicals that are released or not regulated as much. So we tend to be more hungry, and we tend to crave those things that are more fatty or more sugary. And so nobody wants that as we're working to create our long-term health. And so just as those kind of negative sides of it, the positive sides of sleep and how that really is a restorative time for us and our minds, almost a time for the computer nerds out there to defrag our minds, kind of allocates that data and puts it aside and kind of gets it into a little more storage, and it's good for our minds and our body. It's when our organs are healing and able to recoup. It's amazing how important that is in all that we do. And so I wanted to touch on some ideas and thoughts that we can do to improve our quality of sleep, and to first of all, Dr. A said it in one of these, and I don't know if I'm going to find it, but I love the side notes of Dr. A's Habits of Health. But it's just as creating healthy eating habits or healthy habits of motion, habits of sleep takes a concerted effort, a decision to make it, and it takes some consistency to make that or put that into practice. And I hadn't really thought about that until I read that again. Just like any habit of health, it takes some consistency in putting forward. So I love some of the tips that he said. First of all, about setting a bedtime, setting a time that works for you so that you know that you can get a good 7 out of 8 hours of sleep. but that preparation time before bedtime, of how, are we, on the TV, or are we on our phones right before we go to bed? And so kind of shutting down our technologies, and getting in that kind of restful mind, or that restful state, is a huge part, an important part of creating a quality sleep atmosphere. And I loved the certain tips that he talked about as far as, the colors and lightings in our room, choosing a color in our room that soothes us, light blue, green, pinks, lavender, those things, putting your lights dim, scented candles and things like that. And that preparation of time, again, just having your routine of washing your face, flossing, brushing your teeth, and then reading, having some time to just deep breathing and meditation. I'm curious if anybody else has any comments or suggestions on things that they do or they love or they've seen that has been helpful for them to improve their quality sleep. That's something that they've been working on. So if you have a comment or a thought or a suggestion or something that's worked for you or something that you want to work on, go ahead and unmute yourself and chime in. If you're driving, maybe Bobby.
Dan.
Yes,
Hi,
is that Nicole?
It's Nicole. It is. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
So, I started doing something a while ago. Actually, when we came out with the super awesome sleep kit, I started taking melatonin at night sometimes, and then really what I found to be really helpful was a sleep mask, like an eye mask. And it just sort of blocks out all the extra light, even though our room is pretty dark when we sleep. It just sort of, I don't know, it kind of puts me in this little cocoon where I'm just able to just really drift off to sleep nicely. I also have a little an essential oil diffuser next to our bed that I put lavender oil in, and so I use that at night, and I turn that on about a half an hour before we go to bed at night. So I just try and get the room as quiet, as cool as possible, get that oil going, and then the eye mask, and that's really helped a lot. And then the melatonin sometimes too has really helped.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you feel that you wake up more rested? Do you feel that plays a role in your day?
I do. I get up at about 5 o'clock every morning, and literally if I can get into bed by about 9, I'm definitely kind of earlier to bed, 9 or 9:30, but I definitely wake up feeling very rested and just like I've had more rejuvenation during my sleep cycle than before. So yeah, absolutely.
I love it. I love it.
Hopefully that helps somebody.
That helps me for sure.
Awesome.
I seriously love this topic because, having 3 small kids, sleep is really important. And so learning some new concepts and new ways and new tips and strategies to do that is crucial, and it's important, and helps me to keep up. And it's amazing how I've noticed with my friends and those that are moving forward in their health, just how important it is along our health journey. So if we're having those times where maybe we're not having quite the results we want, I always love to look at how our sleep is and what other areas of our lives that are going on. And I'd love to hear just as we're kind of wrapping up the health games too. And so, keeping our topic if we want to, but I get so jazzed up just by hearing your tips and your takeaways and your successes. I'd love to hear if you have more tips on sleep and restful sleep, or something that stuck out to you maybe this last week in our health games, or from your coach, something that they said, or something from the Habits of Health that stuck out to you. I'd love to hear if anybody would love to share and comment on that.
Hi.
Hello, is that Linda?
Yeah, it's Linda.
Hello.
Hi, I'd like to talk about sleep a little bit. For years and years, I have been a horrible snorer. My husband got to the point where he says, if you don't do something about this, I'm leaving the room. And so I went to the doctor about it. And it never even occurred to me that it was a medical problem. And I went in for a sleep study, and they found out that I have severe sleep apnea. And so now I have a CPAP. I do my Darth Vader imitation every night. And I'm actually sleeping now. And so you may think you're sleeping well, and I thought I was sleeping well. I was sleeping 8 or 9 hours a night, plus I'd have a nap, and I always felt tired. So if you do snore, my suggestion is go to your doctor and get some kind of an evaluation. There might be more going on.
That's awesome. That's so good to know, Linda. Thank you for sharing that. And it's true. I mean, it's amazing how that I saw you laugh or chuckled when I said defrag, the restfulness of how important that is for our minds and for our bodies. And really to that point, how important how that plays a role in all the areas of our health as we're creating the health that we want, the physical health, and we're losing weight. Many people, actually are able to reduce or eliminate their sleep apnea as a result of the weight loss as they're going. But it's like a vicious cycle. If we're having that unrestful sleep, then it's causing a loop to do something or cause something that results in weight gain. And so that's what I love about our program and love about our community. The program allows for us to tap into that one part that can play a role in our restfulness of our sleep. So using that system to get rid of that unhealthy weight can help to reduce that sleep apnea. And that way it just gets better. It gets better and better as your restfulness, you're getting more restful sleep, becomes easier during the day. Thank you for bringing that up, Linda. Thank you for sharing that too, and how important that is. And so I saw somebody, Dan, is that, or Gary? I saw Gary raising his hand. If you want to unmute at the bottom left real quick.
I've never been in here before, so.
You're awesome, Gary. You got it.
Okay. I would just like some feedback if somebody has any. I happen to have sleep apnea, and I use a mask all night long, plus take a sleep aid to help me fall asleep. And I do have other underlying medical issues, but I still get up about 5 times a night. But I stay in bed and I try to sleep as much as I can. And yet when I get up in the morning, I don't feel like I even went to bed. I just am tired all the time from early morning till the time I go back to bed at night. I'm just really dragging my butt and tired all the time.
Yeah.
If anybody had any. I've tried different types of masks on my face, the nose mask and the full mask, and my pulmonologist says I'm getting enough oxygen, that the machine is showing that, but I don't really understand why I'm not getting the sleep. I just wonder if anybody had any feedback about that. So maybe somebody who has sleep apnea.
Yeah, well, and Gary, are you in our health games? Is that?
Yeah, I have not joined as of yet. No, I'm hardly thinking about it, but.
You're awesome, Gary. Awesome, and honestly, that's so beautiful because you're. Thank you for you. Who's your health coach by chance?
No, I just said I haven't joined yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
I was just introduced to this a couple days ago and talked to somebody, but I have not formally joined yet.
Okay.
Well, my brother told me about this chat room and I was interested in it. Knowing more, getting feedback and knowing more about it.
Awesome. Well, and your brother have connection to a health coach?
Yeah, he is a health coach. He's in this room right now, as a matter of fact.
Hey, Dan, it's Denise.
Hey, Denise.
I'm working with Gary as well.
Awesome. Cool. Well, you have a great support system. And honestly, that's the best thing, Gary, you can do for your sleep is get on track. Get rid of some of that excess weight through the system and through our community. And you have an amazing support team. You have an amazing coach, Denise, and them.
Are you saying that being overweight and being unhealthy, that in itself could give me poor sleep at night, even though I'm wearing a CPAP mask?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dan?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Debbie. I too have sleep apnea. I wear the nasal cushion mask. And after I started using the Fitbit and letting it log my sleep, I thought my primary problem was getting to sleep, because sometimes it takes me hours to get to sleep once I go to bed. But the Fitbit shows that once I do get to sleep, I am awake off and on, even though I don't realize it, sometimes as many as 27 times in a night. So that's something that you need to talk with your doctor about, is something that will help you maintain a continuous sleep.
Well, do you know what an AHI is on your machine? It measures how many apneas you average in one night, how many times your breathing stops. Mine's only been averaging like 1.52 a night, which isn't bad.
That's not bad.
I'm getting the oxygen and the air I need, but yet I'm still not sleeping well, and I'm not getting any rest.
Yeah. Well, I love that. We've seemed to strike a great chord, because we're seeing how important sleep is, and I think we can talk more about this in future healthy huddles for sure. Because what I love about this program in our community is that it's not one-sided. There's a lot more to optimal health than just our physical health, and sleep plays a role in that. And so what I love about I've seen many people create, reduce their sleep apnea and eliminate it completely by getting rid of that excess weight. And there's a lot of a big factor in sleep apnea is excess weight.
Dan.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan, it's Dawn. How are you?
Great.
I just feel kind of called to share about my dad's story. I don't know if I could maybe kind of close as we're kind of wrapping up tonight, because I know we're going over a little bit, but Gary, thank you for sharing. And I wanted to just maybe share, if I could, a little bit of my dad's story, because he had sleep apnea to a really, really severe degree. And he and I actually did this program together 5 years ago. And if I could just maybe share his story, it's actually kind of funny, and because it has a really happy ending. But Gary, I'm going to just share my screen for a second and show a picture of my dad. And I want to preface this. My dad is a boat captain up in Alaska, and he's really busy, and he's on his boat all the time. But I just kind of wanted to share. So he was able to actually get rid of his CPAP machine and fix his sleep apnea. So I'm going to go ahead and just share for a second here. So this is my father. And so 5 years ago, he was this picture over here in the red, and he was wearing a CPAP machine, and he was fighting with a mask, Gary. When you said you were trying to find a mask that fit you and everything, I mean, I think my dad really had a hard time finding one that would fit, and he, just really, the machine was uncomfortable. And so anyways, we did our nutrition plan together, and I lost 45 pounds and he lost 127, but about 70 pounds into his program, about 4 months, he was able to get rid of his CPAP machine. And Gary, I just wanted to share what he did with it. He lives right on the ocean up in Alaska. He went and threw the sucker in the ocean. He was so sick of that thing. And I was like, oh, Dad, you probably could have returned it. But he was so tired of it. And it had held him down for too long, because he couldn't travel, because he would have to take the thing with him. And it just was hard. And so if that gives you any hope, Gary, I just felt kind of the need to share my dad's story. And you just couldn't be in a better place than working closely with your brother and with Denise, because I mean, it's possible to actually heal your health, and to maybe even not even have to use that machine someday.
Don, thank you, Don,
for sharing that.
Seriously, thank you, Don, for sharing that, and for giving us a beautiful story that, and there are many more of those. And I love that's so personal. And yes, thank you so much for everybody being transparent, being open. That's why we're here. We're a family, and we're all working on our health, no matter what stage of our health we're in. we're all bettering ourselves, and I love that. And Brad, did you want to touch on something real quick? I know Brad had said he might want to.
Yeah, we just got into the better cell range here. Can you hear me?
There he is.
Well, real quick, I don't really have as many awesome stories like that, but obviously you can see that sleep apnea, or just sleep and sleep apnea and all that all play a role together. And sleep is important. You know, I think like you said, you struck a chord. Mine is actually more simple. I've just noticed that when I focus on not staying up late, I get less cravings. I get better sleep. I focus on, hold on a second, someone's unmuted themselves.
Yeah, apparently there's some 10-day thing where they're higher up spiritual leaders, I guess.
Hold on, I found it, hold on.
Over coming to having a 10-day meeting.
There we go. Is that better? No more background? All right. Anyways, my big thing is I focus on really doing what Dr. A talks about, you know, winding down at night. I set myself a really extra good bedtime. Like I do not go past this point, winding down the evening. And I noticed that does a few different things. It helps me get into a better sleep, which I notice it immediately when I start my day, and the start of your day really sets the tone of the day. So sleep really sets the tone before you set the tone. But also when you don't push staying up too late, that's when like the cravings kind of start to come in, which can throw you off too. So I know it's short and sweet, but that's one thing I've been practicing it for years now, and it really plays a big role. And when you do little things like that every day, it really adds up over time. So that's my tip and something that's helped me over the course of the last few years.
Brad, thank you. And thank you again, everybody. And so I know we went a little bit over this time, but it was good. I appreciate, again, the stories. I appreciate the advice. And, you know, let's talk more about this and let's pick one thing this week. Let's pick something when it comes to our sleep and something we can improve. Let's move it forward, whether it is setting that time and following a routine or preparing our home or preparing our bedroom. So let's go make some hell. Let's get healthy. Let's go improve our lives and have an awesome rest of the night and the rest of the week. Thank you, everybody, for sharing, and thank you for being open. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Don.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks.